Okay, so as I was saying before, we were talking about despite and in spite of. Despite and in spite of are both prepositions, or rather, in spite of is a phrase that contains a preposition. Despite is a preposition, and they mean kind of something similar to but or even though. It's a used for contrast. Okay, so despite and in spite of are the same thing. So let's look at the examples. Despite his best efforts, the judge rejected his request. So even though, this means kind of like um, even though he tried, even though he put forth his best efforts, the judge rejected his request. Thanks. Remember, thanks to means the same as due to. They all mean the same. Thanks to, due to, and because of. They all mean, excuse me, kind of the same thing. So does owing to. So owing to, thanks to, due to, because of. They all mean kind of the same thing. Because of isn't on the list, but it should be. Um, and despite and in spite of mean that uh, the idea is kind of in contrast. So remember, you want to use this. We use these words with a noun, not with a complete clause. So due to inclement weather. Okay, we didn't say because. We could have said because we could have said because the weather was bad. Right? There's a verb was. Okay, we could have said despite despite him putting forth his best efforts, but we didn't say that. We said despite his um, best efforts, or we could have said even though he put forth his best efforts, right? But we didn't say that. We said despite his best efforts, or thanks to is the same as because of, right? So we could have said because the police worked so diligently, they apprehended the criminal. But instead, we said thanks to their diligent work. So we use a noun. The noun is work. Okay. The last example says due to the fact that no students submitted the homework. So we use the fact that in order to change the noun into, rather to change a clause into a noun. So due to the fact that no students submitted the homework is like saying because no students submitted the homework. Right. So we can use we use it to we use when where there's a verb. The verb is submit. We use the fact that to change it into a noun, so we can kind of plug it in after due to. Right. So don't worry about that too much. That's kind of a more advanced thing. I'll make another video where we talk about. I'll make videos where we talk about each type individually, so we can go into a little bit more detail. But the main idea is kind of just to practice these. Don't forget that it's really important that you practice using a lot of different structures in your essays. Don't just use the same connectors, the same adverbs, the same structures over and over again. Try to use different structures, and these are advanced sort of. If you're studying English, you may not, you probably know them, but you may not be completely comfortable using them independently. But you really should be working on that. And there are even more advanced structures that we'll talk about later. I'll make some more videos and we'll talk about some more advanced ones. But this is kind of a good starting point. Okay. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you found it useful, and please subscribe, and you can check out my pages down below. Thanks very much.